I did, Terry, and while we wait for investigators to piece together this horrific incident, hearing from those neighbors that saw this is just heartbreaking. Now, I do want to mention some of the things you are about to hear are very graphic. It was around 4:45 Sunday morning when a neighbor heard screams he says he will never forget.
At first I thought that he was beating on her because he had done that before in the past.
But instead of using his fists, he was using a knife stabbing his wife.
He had her by the hair and she got away from him, and I saw the blood on her and him standing in the hallway with a butcher knife, and that's when I knew that he wasn't hitting her, he was stabbing her.
Neighbors say the man went back into his apartment where his daughter was, and when police arrived, they told him to let them in, but he didn't, so they used force.
Probably before the echo of the last shot, one of the police officers who had gained entry into the apartment came running out of the apartment with a little girl in his arms, and she still had the knife sticking in her chest. There was a bloody knife laying under the steps. There was blood all down the wall from the outside door down to the lower level, which is where the apartments were located at. I had tears in my eyes just because the little girl had such a smile and she would always wave to me. And now that I know I'm never going to see that smile again. And the worst part about it is I didn't know what her name was.
And for a woman who saw this little girl play, she knew she had to do something, so she started a memorial.
Her mom has to eventually come home to that area and get her stuff, and just so she would see that, like, people do care.
And they do. While News Center 16 was there Sunday, 4 people left items by a tree.
But she was petrified, and she probably couldn't understand why a person that's supposed to love her was killing her, so.
Another child taken too soon. Now, many said there are just no words to describe such a tragedy. One of the neighbors who wanted to remain anonymous says he used to drive a tow truck and says the worst thing he has ever seen is a fatal accident. That is, until today. Terry.
And Christine, we've learned the suspect, Edward Moara, was just arrested recently.
That is correct. He was arrested and released on Thursday for invasion of privacy at that same apartment in Irish Hills, but police aren't releasing any more about that particular incident.